Paving the Way podcast. Welcome to 5 Minute Mondays with your host, Medusa. Come listen to some fascinating stories, affirmations, wisdom, and even a few interviews of people that have paved the way and are paving the way in their journey of success. Listen to their timeline of adversities from traumas to triumph. And also listen to some guidance of life and even a few workshops of living your best life, digging deep and understanding the science of happiness, learning how to bounce back, the art of being present, 7 reasons to be mindful, the power of gratitude, and so much more. Paving the Way podcast with your host, Medusa.
Isn't it kind of like a catchy tune? You're just kind of like listening to it and you're bouncing and you're getting excited, wondering what the hell I'm going to say this week. Hey everybody, welcome to 5 Minute Mondays, Paving the Way podcast, and your host, Medusa. That's M-A-D-U-S-A, made in the USA, baby. Welcome everybody. Thanks for showing up or downloading, liking, and listening to it on your day off or on a jog or sitting back, drinking a cup of tea, or just getting ready to kick somebody's ass, right? Wow. So we've started a new journey, and we are going to intermittently go in and out of this new journey. It's about a year long of wonderful little thought processes, exercises, experiences, just knowledge and wisdom and a lot of research, okay? Again, remember, I speak to a lot of people, even with my own experience and my own schooling and my courses that I take. I like to put everything together and bring it together here on the podcast for you. I know every week is a little different. A few weeks are a course sort of podcast. So it's kind of an experience, right? I love it. It's just filled with a happy bunch of great ingredients. Got a lot of feedback from the couple weeks that I did about aging. Lord, there's a lot of people that feel the same way or can resonate somehow, right? That made me feel really good. So I'm on the right track. And what we're going to be talking about this week is about taking some time, taking 5, noticing the times where you feel vulnerable, or that you've spilled your guts out, or you feel like you just want to express yourself and sometimes you can't. For whatever reason, if it's in today's culture, you say something now, you could be canceled, right? It's so frightening. And I guess it's about how you say it and how it comes across. I personally am not in any way here to hurt anybody deliberately or to choose something or a subject and think it's targeted to that circle, I guess. I'm trying to choose my words carefully. So just have an open frickin' mind. Listen to the content. If it resonates, great. If not, maybe you know somebody that it is. Or put it in your pocket and pull it out later, because let me tell you, as we age, we're going to go through different experiences. So maybe just hearing this, maybe down the road, you're going to experience this. And then it's going to be filed in your brain, and it's going to trigger. You'll be like, oh, yeah, this sounds familiar. I've heard this somewhere. Let me, somehow my brain is going through the files because something reminds it of the subject that you're going through that you may have heard, and it's taking you back there so you can learn something from it. Okay, if you understood that, great. Ooh, some deep shit already. Oh, wow. So on this lesson, it's like, on this episode, it's like take 5, right? So here's a little famous quote, okay? So to change the fruits, you have to change the roots. To change the visible, you must first change the invisible. Yeah. So, we've all had those days where we've poured our heart out and soul into doing something that matters, or doing the work of becoming ourselves when it gets hard, right? Who hasn't planned something and you're just ready to put everything into it, and you're planning just right, everything from A to Z. And that means getting up, starting your day, and keeping on track, and keeping that journal, and keeping that daily planner, and keeping on schedule to make it all work, right? And then for some reason, it gets just all clustered, and it just starts getting hard, right? So, and then what happens? We lose, I think, that we lose heart. We back off and we bail. We just frickin' bail on ourselves. We bail on ourselves when we feel ourselves feeling a little lost, or it's becoming too hard or strained, or financially it's getting to be way too much, and then you give up on your dream when you need to dig deeper and find out what can you do to make it work, right? Guys, if you've just, I cannot tell you, wait till you read my book in spring of 2023 when it comes out, my biography, the shit I had to do, and even today, the story, just to keep the dream alive. I am just like anybody else out there. It's but I'm an older version of my younger self in my profession. And so many things are different. So you have to learn to accept that and grow with that, right? So that's what sometimes just busts me in the ass and makes me want to feel like I want to bail on myself. And it's because I see so many. Well, we'll get into that. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole yet. Okay, so we will. Okay, so let's start here too. In one of his posts, blogger and thought leader Seth Godin calls it transformation tourism. And he says, I bought the diet book, but ate my usual foods. I filled the prescription, but didn't take the meds. I took the course, well, I watched the videos, but I didn't do the exercises in writing. So merely looking at something almost never causes change, right? Just looking at it, it doesn't change. So tourism is fun, but rarely transformative. And if it was easy, you would have already achieved the change you seek. So change comes from new habits, guys. We've got to change our habit. And I stated this like long ago in my podcast. If you want change, what do you got to do? Change your route coming home from work instead of taking the same way home. Right? Change your routine in the morning. Do something different that's going to give you that excitement and energy. It may seem like small little things, but once you see that little bit each day, and we have to be accountable for it. Sometimes it's nice to have that other person working with you at a same goal or a different goal, and you guys are both trying to work at it and change, and it really helps when you have somebody that wants to do good or do better for themselves, because then you drive off of that. And it could be two different goals, two different things, but it's that drive. I'm hungry for that drive. I die for people to have that motivation. It's an energy builder. You just keep going. Again, I say, you are your environment. You get somebody that sits around, eats all the time, and pretty soon you find yourself starting to sit around and start eating by little, and having that discipline. When you live around trash, it's going to get messy, okay? And it does make it difficult. And then pretty soon, if you're not doing and giving to the other person or the situation to what they want because you're trying to fulfill a goal, and they call you selfish, no, honey. I'm not less. You're just too much. You know what I mean? Yeah. Got to change a few things there, maybe. Okay, so on that note, so with Mr. Gooden was right. Like, of course, like, and I would add one caveat, just one caveat to his message. The work you do to become yourself may not be easy, but it doesn't have to be hard either. It doesn't. And this is where I've learned how to, there are difficult situations. And it doesn't have to be so hard where you just don't have the energy or the gumph to do it. I have found a new awesome habit or hobby that has turned into like this habit, and I can't get enough. And I'm even making money at it. It's incredible. It's like I find absolute enjoyment at this incredible new thing I'm doing. And it's like my new little hobby that I love to do. But I pick and choose to do it when I want to do it, basically, right? So it doesn't have to be hard. If it starts becoming difficult or hard, whatever you're doing, step back. Take a look. Just take a breather, just a second, a minute, 5 minutes. Go walk away, go get some tea, go get a soda, a pop, and just, and then come back and reevaluate. It is the best. Okay. It can be gentle, and it can be slow, just so you're enjoying it, and it's okay. Now, there's going to be some rough patches and times where you've got to get over that hump. It's not going to be all wonderful, roses all the time, but just take your time, enjoy it, okay? And daily repetition